So I've been playing Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex. So, even though Crash Bash was the first game to be made after Naughty Dog lost the license, this was the first actual platformer. It was made by Traveler's Tales. And maybe it was because I was unaware of it not being made by Naughty Dog as a kid, I never really thought any less of it. To me, it looked and sounded like a Crash game. Or at least it did back then. Anyway, the story, as the title may suggest, is about Crash Bandicoot. And the evil Dr. Cortex has a new evil plan. This time, Tex made a new biological superweapon called Crunch Bandicoot. And of course, Crash has to stop them. Gameplay-wise, it tries to be the same as the first 3 Crash games. Meaning linear levels, platforming, spin-dashing enemies, breaking boxes, and collecting Wumpa Fruit. I find it strange that, well, for as far as I know, this is really the only 3D platforming series that didn't go for the Rareware approach of collectathoning in a wide open area. Instead, it's more like an actual 2D platformer in 3D than most other 3D platformers. Anyway, the big difference between this game and the first 3 games is that, well, it's just not very good. The controls feel really floaty and sluggish. Like, every time you jump, it feels like Crash has his pockets filled with gold ingots or something. I'm not sure how well this shows in the footage, but it just doesn't feel right. And the fact that the animations look really strange doesn't help either. It's like he's heavy and slow, but floaty at the same time, and it's really hard to control him because of it. So slow in fact that I actually went and checked if the game was running okay. I mean, it fucking should be, seeing as I'm not emulating it or anything. Also, the game made my PS2 sound like it was going to burst out in flames. Which, of course, made me even more suspicious. But, as it turns out, this is just how the game is. Anyway, despite the controls, I couldn't help but feel a lack of soul and originality. I mean, first of all, the game really tries to be like Crash Bandicoot 3. I mean, they did try to add some ideas of their own, they just ended up doing that a bit too often. There's just too much gimmicky bullshit and too few actual levels. For example, you defeat a boss and you get a new move. Wanna try it out? Well, fuck you. Here's a Coco level, a robot level, a spaceship level, and a water level. Have fun, bitch! Overall, I just got a lot of mediocre vibes from this game, especially when compared to the previous Crash games. Although, I feel that even on its own it isn't really much to look at. I mean, it's not terrible or anything, I still had some fun with the actual platform levels. It's just that most of the good stuff has been taken straight out of Crash 3. I feel that if they didn't have such a strong and proven formula to depend on, this game would have been terrible. Or maybe it's the other way around. They got the license, didn't know what to do with it, copied what was already there, forgot to add a few teaspoons of love and care, and struggled with adding new shit because they just didn't know what to do with it. I mean, I can imagine they were under a lot of pressure to live up to the previous games. So maybe it's not really their fault. Anyway, Traveler's Tales also made Crash Bandicoot Twinsanity a few years later, which is actually a pretty good game. And then this happened.